in total for 25 laps of Hayward Field. 69.6 per lap, a 254 kilometre, a 440 mile will be an even pace, 29 minutes here. The sun's coming out, that could be a good sign. See Sagai having a little bit of a chit-chat there with the three pacemakers she has on duty on the outside line here on the finish line of Hayward Field. We'll introduce you to the athletes as we get underway in what could be history here at Hayward Field. Here we go, the women's 10,000 metres of pre-classic for 2024, the 49th pre-classic here. And Sagai in the mix as expected. Blue pace lights, that's for the pacemakers, folks. Rachel MacArthur of the USA. Saron Bere of Ethiopia, Mekidas Almashete of Ethiopia in charge on the blue lights. And the green light is the light that's set at the current world record of 29:01:03. Little flutter from the flags as they pass the experience board. Coming round the first 400 metres. Keep an eye on the experience board for the live results. We'll keep you up to speed with the splits. As mentioned, a nice little 69.6 per lap would give a nice even pace of 29 minutes. And already such is the pace that we're hoping for here today, a string out of the athletes. Bang on 69 seconds for the first 400 metres. Sagai, the Ethiopian, the two-time world champion over 5,000 metres, holds the world 1,500 metre indoor record as well at 3:53. But as you'd expect at pre-classic, there's quality through this field as well. Various nations represented, a lot of Kenyans, of course, as it's their national trials for the Olympic Games. But we also have Jen Lagat of Uganda with us, Jet Kemai of Kazakhstan. But down the home straight at Hayward Field, and our pacemakers doing a good job so far. See Sagai with number 18 on her hip. She's the one with the high bun on her head in the yellow strip, sitting in fourth place at the moment. Behind those who've been put on pacemaking duty here this morning. And it's single file, Rob, all the way down the back straight in the early part of this women's 10,000.
As expected here in the women's 10,000 meters, especially in a record attempt here, the pace train is following the pacers. They're just going to keep on chugging the whole way around.
And they'll chug a little bit faster with some loud support. 2:53.3 at the first K. An even pace of a 2:54K throughout this 25-lap women's 10,000 would bring us on 29 minutes exactly. So bang on the pace lights. Blue for the pacemakers. Green for the world record as it stands. Bere, MacArthur, Almashete, Sagai, Beatrice Chebet there, the Kenyan, sitting on the shoulder of Sagai. Cannot be discounted in this race. The Diamond League final winner of a 5K on the roads in 2022. The World Championship silver medalist here in Eugene over 5,000 metres. Chebet still in the mix. But so far, so good on our first long race of this year's pre-classic. Had to wait since last September in our Diamond League final to get world-class athletics back here, but when it comes, folks, we know it comes strong. Here we go then, keep the noise going all the way around Hayward Field. The Kenyan selectors will have an eye, of course, before they pick their team for Paris from the results here today. Those other nations mentioned, of course, have their own times to potentially gain to hit Paris qualification for those Olympics. It's a nice, still morning. Rob's just pointed out, there's no wind. Look at the flag, Rob. They've completely dropped. They were fluttering at the start of this 10,000. But now no wind at all here at Hayward Field, and gaps are appearing in this women's 10,000.
Now, for the first time, we're actually seeing a little bit of split there towards the back, but the reality is here, we're talking about the leaders and the potential of making the Kenyan Olympic team in this 10,000 meters. So still a lot of running left to do here as we come around the bend here. That'll be 20 laps remaining when they hit that finish line. So tremendous racing ahead of us here, Kath.
Yeah, we're still going along very nicely, aren't we? Look at that, bang on those blue wave lights, bang on the pacemaker. First pacemaker drifting into the second lane. So, job done perfectly. 5:48, 20 laps to go. 2,000 meters passed. Sagai comfortably in that third position, being hunted. Second pacer drops out. Still bang on the blue lights. Still nicely ahead of that green light showing the current world record. And just like that, we have a little group of 5 in this women's 10,000 meters. See the big experience board, the green vest of Chepkoech in the mix. Look at Sagai, Rob, looking up at the screen, keeping her on everything that's going on around her. Familiar, as we've mentioned, with this track here at Hayward Field. She had her first major medal at the World Juniors here in 2014, over the 1,500 meters when she picked up a silver. Her first global senior medal down the road in Portland when she won World Indoor Bronze in 2016. HL on the outside in the green vest. Everybody's still paying attention in this women's 10,000 meters. So still 5 athletes, maybe just 6 in terms of encompassing the blue and the green lights that we've got here. Our first field event action of the morning. We're just outside of the stadium here at Hayward Field. 11:35, the women's hammer throw final. See the start list for that on the south board. It's split nicely at the moment between this world record attempt in the women's 10,000. Lovely to see the track and field fans. That's a nice sight, Rob, under the tower. Look at everybody still flooding in. Many could be witnessing history here in about 20 odd minutes time. Well, this is perfect. So far, so good. That even pace thereafter, the 254K splits, the 69.6 per lap is being hit bang on at the moment. Only 2 women ever have gone under 29:10 for 10,000 meters. Gidey and Sifan Hassan, both of those times run in Europe in Hengelo. Sagai, incidentally, does sit 4th on the all-time list. Her best is 29:29.73. The Ethiopian ran that in Spain in June last year. But looking to take her 3rd world record and a 2nd world record here at Hayward Field. A nice close-up shot on the experience board. Pacing to perfection. Sagai looking good. So, look on the experience board, folks. We told you that we have a women's hammer throw competition starting in about half an hour's time just outside the stadium. And this lineup is absolute fire. Gillian Weir of Canada's with us. Janae Stewart of the USA. Annette Etchi-Komwoke of the USA's in the field. Silja Kosonen of Finland joins us. Second-ranked athlete in the world this year, the world champion in 2019. Deanna Price of the USA lines up. Janae Casanavoy, the World Championship silver medalist in Budapest last year, is with us. Brooke Anderson, the furthest thrower in the world this year, and Cameron Rogers of Canada, the world champion. 3 world champions, the top 4 ranked in the world are here. The women's hammer throw, one of the eagerly anticipated events here at Pre-Classic. So a little bit of a drop back in this women's 10,000 metres. That means we need a bit more noise, Hayward Field. They're getting off the blue lights, which are the pace. And the final pacer has dropped. Gudaf Sagai in the yellow is now leading the pack, attacking this women's 10,000 metre world record. A little bit of wind is picking up on the top bend there. You'll notice now that the blue lights have gone as we've lost 3 of the pacemakers that were put in charge. But let's keep an eye on the green light, set at 29:01:03, set at the world record pace. And we are bang on, coming up to 4K. We're projected at around 28:58 at the moment. Keeping on the green light to the world record pace with a breakaway of 4. Oh, it's working, folks. You see a little bit of volume from yourself, and look at we're on now. We're on about the second light in terms of that green light for the world record pace. Beatrice Chebet still on the shoulder in the orange vest of Sagai, that Kenyan. 33:29, her best, the 24-year-old. Couple of world championship medals in her cabinet as well. Everybody sitting in the slipstream of the 5,000 metre world record holder. Everybody hanging on the coattails of the world indoor 1,500 metre record holder and the 5,000 world record holder, and we are still bang on pace. Swinging back into the home straight. Literally, folks, stride for stride as the lights go just to their left. Rengaruk, the 27-year-old Kenyan, currently in the pink vest, sitting in third place on the shoulder of Chebet. A little change in positions from the back of that leading group of four. Right, we're coming up to the halfway point. Let's see what we're hitting at the 5K mark. World record pace is 14:30. 14:31.08. That 14:30 would give you a 29-minute flat 10,000 meters, which would just be 1.03 seconds inside of Lesenbek-Gidey's world record. When Gidey became the first woman since Ingrid Christensen to hold both the 5 and the 10,000-meter world record, she ran negative split. She ran a 14:42 first 5K, was off the world record pace. But Gidey closed her second half 24 seconds faster with a 14:18, with a closing mile of 4:26. This is more evenly paced from these athletes. And we're stretching away down the back straight, 3 or 4 meters now ahead of the leading green light. A 68.7 last 400. That was the quickest lap of the race so far. Attention was paid at the halfway point to that 5K time. And the fastest lap has just gone through. Hence, as you were saying, Rob, more gaps appearing because of the world record pace is on.
World record pace in any event, and a really exciting event out here to watch this happen here. And Tsegay clearly in control of her own destiny at this point. Less than halfway to go to potentially a new world record. You see them still about 5 meters now ahead of the pace lights. Tsegay, 11 laps remaining.
She won the world 10,000-meter gold in Budapest last year, Tsegay. She really wanted the 10 and 5K double, but injury made her fade in that 5,000-meter final to 13th. Made her 5,000 debut here in Eugene back in 2018. And won gold here, of course, at the Eugene World Championships over 5,000 meters a couple of years ago. It's going to be a two-way battle for the victory at Pre-Classic, a two-way battle potentially for the world record as well. They're keeping ahead of the lights, aren't they here, folks? Look at this, they're a good meter or a meter and a half ahead of that world record pace. Coming up to the 6K point. 17:25.13. Well, a 29-minute 10K would have been 17:24. So we are still bang on. Little pocket of battles around following our world record pace in this women's 10,000 meters. A reminder, all the different nations represented will have qualifying criteria for this distance for the Olympics in Paris. Past the flowers, past the steeplechase water, past the experience board and back into the home straight. Every lap being hit. Oh, those pesky wave lights have caught our runners back up. Let's get some noise behind our runners, folks. 9 laps to go in the women's 10,000 meters. Such is the speed. We're starting to lap some of the athletes here in this 10,000 meter race. But Tsegay looks cool. Little glance to her left. The experience board showing wonderful close-up shots of some of the best 10,000 athletes in the world. Come again down the home stretch of Hayward Field. And once again, we're half a stride ahead of the green light. We're half a stride ahead of the world record. Beatrice Chebet, the 24-year-old, sitting on the shoulder of Gudaf Sagai, the 27-year-old. Been pretty busy this year. Sagai over the 1,500 metre and the 3,000 metre distance indoors. The 1,500 metres was ran at the China Diamond League. She popped out a little 350. But Sagai, understandably, is not shaking at this point Beatrice Chebet. Chebet's best, 33.29. Sagai's best, 29.29. Nothing between these two in the women's 10,000. Now they're slap bang in the middle of the world record green wave lights. They are stuck together like glue. The slightly smaller figure of Chebet. She's run a 14.26 5,000 in the Doha Diamond League, that event she won. I say, folks, it's always easier to chase than lead, but two of the best to ever do it are coming back in the home straight, slap bang in the middle of the pacing lights. That 29.01 world record is still very much under threat.
Under threat indeed, and not only that, Kath, we also have to remember this is serving as the Olympic trials for the Kenyan national team, and Beatrice Chebet looking to punch her ticket to Paris, sitting right on the shoulder of Sagai. So world record or not, the Paris is calling for Beatrice Chebet.
It is indeed. And she's looking just as cool as she was about 22.5 minutes ago. So a battle for national teams for the Paris Olympics, a battle for a world record, a battle for a pre-classic win. We're drifting towards the back of the green lights. We know what we need, folks. We need a little bit of volume for our women's 10,000 metre runners. Got us back on track last time. 23.14 at the 8K point. The 29 flat 10,000 would have been a 23.12 8K. So we're in the ballpark as the lights are showing. The even pace wave lights were requested, as mentioned previously, set on the 29.01.03 world record. And as mentioned, remember when Gidey broke this world record, She ran the second half 24 seconds faster than the first. But we're pretty even here today, aren't we? We're ticking along very nicely. Averaging the 69.6 per lap, averaging the 254k. A little bit of increase needed here. Let's try and keep our athletes on the top part of the light. 1 mile to go, 4 laps of Hayward Field in the women's 10,000 metres. World record pace, familiar territory for Gudaf Sagai. But potentially, poised like a rocket on her shoulder is Beatrice Chebet. The Ethiopian has not managed to shake the Kenyan. How many times have we said that over the years in middle and long distance racing at this world-class level? As we say in England, Rob, Chebet chomping at the bit on the shoulder of Sagai.
Chomping at the bit indeed. We see a little bit of a facial expression difference there on the big experience board. We'll have to wait and see who truly has the final blistering kick. We know that Sagai has shown us in the past.
And Chebet's gone. Itching she was, chomping at the bit indeed. And a little look over her shoulder. The slight grimace from Sagai in the last few laps. So now we're talking, folks, because Chebet's negotiating the traffic, and Chebet is on course with the green lights. She's on the first green light, piling it on down the back straight. It's a 10, it's a 12-metre lead. And the lead is stretching. 26:07 through 9k. Bang on 29-minute pace, give or take a couple of tenths. Beatrice Chebet is en route. She's going ahead of the light, folks. If you are able, stand and support. You could potentially be watching history for the fastest ever women's 10,000 metres. Last 400 metres, that's the fastest lap of the race. She's 2 metres ahead of the lights. This was billed as a world record attempt. This is the world record that Gudaf Sagai wanted to add to her collection to join the world record of the 5,000 metres. But Beatrice Chebet said, hang on, I think I'll have a little bit of that action, and goes round the top end by the experience board. A reminder, 29:01:03. Nobody's ever been under 29:01. Nobody's ever been under 25 minutes, 29 minutes therefore. Here we go. The bell goes at Hayward Field. The final lap of the women's 10,000 metres. Is Beatrice Chebet the Kenyan gonna win the Kenyan Olympic trials? Gonna get a pre-classic win? Or is she also gonna get a world record? Make some noise down the back straight. You guys have had the pleasure of witnessing some major historical distance running events here at Hayward Field. You know your stuff in terms of track and field. Absolutely flying. She's 50 metres clear of the green wave world record, and she's kicking again. Here she comes. This is the fastest women's 10,000 metres you have ever seen. Ladies and gentlemen, the world record It's officially come through, 28:54.14. The world record is smashed. Gudaf Sagai, 29:05.92, a lifetime best, and the third fastest 10K ever. A 63.7 final lap for Beatrice Chebet. The result is scrolling through on the experience board. Some fast finishing here. These are just over 30-minute finishes, folks, in a world record race. That is the 7th world record ever at Pre-Classic. And that was a brilliant start to the 49th Pre-Classic here at Hayward Field.
And I don't have any idea how we're going to top that, but we've got a lot of options coming forth here at this amazing Prefontaine Classic schedule, with so many more events coming to a head here on this somewhat cloudy day, but perfect for distance running in Eugene, Oregon at the Prefontaine Classic.
Look at those letters on the boards, folks. Look at that. WR. Is there a better sight for a track and field athlete to see that after your name? I think there is not. Personal best, PRs. There's going to be loads in that race. Absolutely perfect. And a big shout out as well to Rachel MacArthur, Sharon Beret, and Mercedes Almalachetti for pacemaking the women's 10,000 world record here on Saturday morning at Pre. So it was always billed as a world record attempt by Gudaf Sagai, and as mentioned, she ran the third fastest time ever with a second place finish of 29:05.92, but it's always important to point out on the screen there, the Kenyan Olympic trials, the selectors will make their decision, but Chebet, I'd fancy a few bucks on her going to Paris with a world record here today. But Rengaruk as well in third. Look at that, 29:26 for the Kenyan in third. Kipkemboi in fourth. Some of the fastest times the world has ever seen. The world record, the third fastest, and the 6th and 7th fastest times ever.